Vande Krishna Dasa Prabhum Tata Chanavatar Chaitanya-lila Vishtar Kadino Do Nityananda Padabja Karunadena Bhushito Yakta Chano Burachincho Bhavande Vyasadupino Shri Guru Gaur Gandharva Govindascha Ganaisaha Jayanti Patakaschacha Sarvesham Gurunartino. So we're continuing with our morning reading of Sri Chaitanya-charitamrita. We are beginning the third chapter of Madhya-lila. We heard yesterday about how Mahaprabhu, after he took sannyas, he wandered for several days in this ecstatic trance, trying to go to Vrindavan, but by the tricks of Nityananda Prabhu, he could not go. And instead, he was brought to the home of Advaita Āchārya to be fed. So let's see. So I'm going to pick up from verse 38. I'll pick up from 37. Paschim dare jamuna vahe taha koilo snan arja kopin jadi shushka koro padidan. Advaita Āchārya then suggested that since Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had taken his bath in the river Jamuna and his clothes were now wet, the Lord should change for dry garments. Premaveshetindi nachahupavas sajimor godebika cholomorvas. Advaita Āchārya said, "You have been fasting continuously for 3 days in your ecstasy of love for Krishna. I therefore invite you to my home, where you may kindly take your alms. Come with me to my residence." Hikmushdiyanamui koryachopaka shukaruka vyanjan koilo supashaka. Advaita Āchārya continued, "At my home I have just cooked 1 palmful of rice. The vegetables are always very simple. There is no luxurious cooking, simply a little liquid vegetable and spinach." Somehow, don't believe him. Sounding suspicious. Sounds like another plot. It's mentioned, right? Aham bhakta paradino hyasvatantra eva dvija. Right? The Lord declares, I am bound by the love of my devotees. Right? So I am like one who has, it is as if I have no independence. Right? This is his declaration. So we see that here, right? In these beautiful examples. Itabolino, by the love, he's bound by the love of his devotees. Itabolino kai charaya nila nijagor pada prakalan koilo ananda antar. Saying this, Advaita Āchārya took the Lord into the boat and brought the Lord to his residence. There Advaita Āchārya washed the feet of the Lord and was consequently very happy with him. Pratame pakka kuriyachan acharjani Vishnu samarbhang koilo acharya apani. All the eatables were first cooked by the wife of Advaita Āchārya. Then Srila Advaita Āchārya personally offered everything to Lord Vishnu. Tindai bhog badailo samakori Krishna bhog badailo dhatu patropadi. All the prepared food was divided into 3 equal parts. 1 part was arranged on a metal plate for offering to Lord Krishna. Bhatisha kolar angatiya pate duitai bhog badailo balo mate. I'm looking at the purport of this verse that we just read before. So it's saying this word, this is an interesting purport, saying that. So it's saying, teen is 3, right? Teen tai bog, the food was in 3 places. Badailo, which is translated as distributed, like divided. Sam is same, from the word, must be the root of the word same, means like equal. So 3 equal portions, right, are distributed. And one is, and then Krishna Bhog Badailo, Datu Pachupadi, and one of those portions was for Krishna. But this word, Badailo, it's an example of lost in translation. I can't really translate. But this purport is interesting, saying this word Badailo, which is in the translated here, is distributed or arranged. It's saying, I'll read this purport. The word Badailo, saying it means actually increased, is very significant in this verse. It is a sophisticated word used by the grihastas in Bengal. Whenever food is prepared and we take away a portion, the food is actually decreased. But here it is the system to say badailo, or increased. If food is prepared for Krishna and offered to him and the Vaishnavas, the stock is increased, never decreased. Interesting. It's hard to understand without knowing the language, right? And like in an integrated, contextual way. It's difficult to get a feeling, but it's a very interesting idea. Because this is the nature of divine substance, right? It is always increasing. And by giving, we're gaining, right? When we offer something to... Normally in this world, and Gurudev was making this point in our reading of Revealed Truth the other day, right? That if you take something from one place and give it somewhere else, then you lose something from that place, right? If you're digging in the ground, you take some soil, you put it somewhere else, then that place now is empty of soil, right? That is the nature of material, mundane transactions. But in divine transactions, the opposite. When you give, your stock increases. What you have increases. You don't lose anything. It's very interesting. And even in the general Vedic culture, this is something very deeply understood, right? In the cultural, zeitgeist or whatever. And so there's this strong culture of like giving, right? Like giving to Brahmins, giving to sadhus, right? There's a strong culture of that. The whole society is actually, it's like structured, right? Like sadhus can just live and they'll be taken care of, right? Like you can knock on any door and they'll take you in for food and a bed and whatever, some pranami, right? So there's this strong culture of giving, because they know when they give to someone pious or religious, then they're not losing, but they're gaining, right? This is something deeply understood. And I one interesting thing I've observed is like there's this interesting dynamic where, like, if someone does some service for you, like say even like a rickshaw driver, right? Then if they don't accept your money because it's not enough, right? That's a very high insult. Right? Like, I'll explain. Let's say you've taken a rickshaw ride and then they ask a particular price, right? But you say, no, that's too much. I'll give you this much. And then that rickshaw driver would say, he may say, I've experienced this a few times, say, oh, forget it then, I won't take anything. And they walk away. That's like, because it's so deep in their mentality that they're actually putting that karma on you. And you're actually losing. Like, by you not paying me, you're incurring debt. Although you have more money in your pocket now, you're actually putting yourself in debt. And you're going to lose money in the future. It's like so strongly ingrained in them. I've experienced it several times. And then what people, then the Indian tradition, right, is then you go run after that person. Okay, I'll give you whatever you want. Because that's like the worst thing. Like, I don't want to not pay you, because then I'm going to have that karma on me. It's just like if you try that in America, be like, yeah, okay, sure, I just won't pay you. There's no problem, dude. A very funny thing. Very funny thing. It's just so it's like this deep, it's just embedded in their consciousness, this understanding of karma and the exchange of energy, giving and receiving, and how, like this big picture view, right? Long-term big picture of how it works, right? And by giving, you're actually gaining. Giving is an opportunity, actually. And you're inviting good fortune upon yourself. You know? Very interesting thing. So then the next verse. Of the 3 divisions, one was arranged on a metal plate, and the other 2 were arranged on plantain leaves. These leaves were not bifurcated, and they were taken from a banana tree that held at least 32 bunches of bananas. This is, again, some cultural thing. So it's auspicious, banana tree that has 32 bunches. The 2 plates were filled very nicely with the kinds of food described below. Get your notebooks ready. Going to hear lots of wonderful descriptions. Prashadam. There were a few places in Chaitanya-charitamrita where Kaviraj Goswami just goes all out. You know, like there's like several pages here. Yeah. He goes into detail. There's a few places he does that.
Pandit, I remember that special place when
Mm-hmm.
What text are we in? I removed the purple.
44. Madhya-pita Gita Shikta Shalyaner Stupa Charidike Vyanjan Donga Aramugna Supa. The cooked rice was a stack of very fine grains, nicely cooked, and in the middle was yellow clarified butter or ghee from the milk of cow. Surrounding the stack of rice were pots made from the skins of banana trees, and in these pots were varieties of vegetables and mung dal. Sardrak Vastuk Shaka Vivida Prakar Patola Kushmanda Body Manakachuar. Among the cooked vegetables were patolas, squash, manakachu, and a salad made with pieces of ginger and various types of spinach. Joy Madicha Shukta Diya Sab Fal Mule Amrita Nindaka Pancha Vidatikta Jale. There was shukta, bitter melon mixed with all kinds of vegetables, defying the taste of nectar. There were 5 types of bitter and pungent shuktas. Wow, 5 types of shukta. Wow. Shukta is really nice. It's one of Janardhan Maharaj's favorites. He loves it. So it's a bitter, made with bitter melon, but like a sabji, like a vegetable. Koma nimba patra saha bhaja vartaki patola fool badi bhaja kushmanda mana chaki. Amongst the various vegetables were newly grown leaves of nimba trees fried with eggplant. So nimba is neem, I believe. Yeah, neem begum. We've made that a few times here, neem begum. Very, very nice. The fruit known as patola, we make quite a few of these things we would take in the ma, especially on like festival days, wouldn't perhaps be every day. The fruit known as patola was fried with fula badi, a kind of dal preparation, first mashed and then dried in the sun. There was also a preparation known as kushmanda manachaki. Purport. We request by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada, we request our editors of cookbooks to add all these nice preparations described by the experienced author, Srila Kaviraj Goswami. I didn't make that up. It's really there. Very nice. Narikela Shasya Chana. But did they? I don't know if they did include that in their cookbooks. I don't know if you find this in ISKCON cookbooks. I'm not sure. So these things are like quite Bengali, you know. Like every region of India has its specialty. Narikela Shasya Chana Sharkara madur, mocha ganta. Ooh, mocha ganta, that's really special. Mocha ganta is made with the flowers of the banana tree. It's like a really fine preparation. There are so many preparations they make with the banana tree. The flowers, the fruits, different parts of the fruit. Mocha ganta narikela shasya chana sharkara madur mocha ganta dugda kushmanda sakal prachur. The preparation made with coconut pulp mixed with curd and rock candy. Wow. You know, one sweet which they would have on special days, not very often, is like coconut, grated coconut mixed with sugar and camphor balls. You know camphor, right? Camphor. You know camphor, of course.
I know, but it's strange for eating. It feels strange for eating.
Yeah, it works somehow. Yeah, you wouldn't think of it for eating, but it actually really works. I don't even know what it's made from, like a type of mineral, or is it from trees? Yeah, I think trees maybe, from the sap or something. I don't know. Yeah, how do you describe the taste of camphor? Taste? No, it's a very not menthol, but it's similar type of camphor.
The smell.
The smell, yeah. Yeah, normally it's used like as a fragrance, like as a scent. It's a very strong, But we're not sure. Something,
it's
some
juice
part.
Of the tree, this sticky one.
The resin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's from the resin of a tree. Yeah. And I think they use it in like the worship of the deity for some things, don't they?
I think even in Orthodox churches, something like similar at least.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It smells very nicely, but very strange for eating.
Yeah, you wouldn't think of it for eating, but it's like heavenly. It's actually heavenly. These like grated coconut balls with sugar and camphor. It's incredible. They wouldn't serve out to everyone, but they'd have like a special batch they'd offer to the deity, and then you might get one if you were lucky. It was so cool on the big festival days, like Janmashtami or Purnima, because all the there's this we hear it's auspicious to offer 108 preparations, right? And so in our Western temples, I see devotees sometimes try to do it, but it's a little difficult. But in India, they have all these local village ladies. And so you'll see on the altar, they'd have like these clay pots. And they would literally have 108, like unique preparations, that so many ladies have come in from the neighborhood and prepared. It's wonderful to see. There was a curry made of banana flowers. This is the mocha ganta. And that mocha ganta, there's this incident we hear later in Chaitanya-charitamrita when it's one sannyasi, I forget his name, who it was, but he happens to meet Mahaprabhu. And this is like years after Mahaprabhu's left home. He's living as a traveling sannyasi. And I believe it's in South India. He meets this one sannyasi. And it turns out he'd met Mahaprabhu's brother, Vishwarup. I think so. But the key thing was that he had happened to meet Shachi Mata. And she'd prepared this wonderful mocha ganta. And he said something like, I cannot forget the taste of that mocha ganta, made by Shachi Devi. Yeah. And they discover that's my mother, something like that. Yeah, but it's a very special preparation, mocha ganta. It's not exactly they make something with the flowers too, but this is something like, I think it's like maybe what you call before the flowers develops, like from the bud maybe. It's quite kind of like fibrous. It's hard to describe. So there was a curry made of banana leaves, banana flowers, they call it flowers, and squash boiled in milk, all in great quantity. Badaramla boda amladi pancha choy, sakka vyanjang koila loke jata hoy. There were small cakes and sweet and sour sauce. Sweet and sour. No.
No, wrong translation.
That makes it sound like some Chinese
Yeah,
preparation.
a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, madur is sweet. Amla, I'm wondering if amla here means the amla fruit. Amla is it's sour. Yeah, it is sour. So maybe it is sweet and sour. But I think it's saying like sweet amla. I think this must be the same amla. Amla's, you know amla, right? It is super sour. But it's the name of the fruit. It doesn't mean sour. So sweet amla, you know. And then this boda means like a patty or like cake. So some sweet amla cake. I think that's what it really is. But it is sour. Badaramla bodam ladi pancha choy sakka vyanjang koila loke jata hoy. There were small cakes and sweet and sour sauce. And I read this already. And 5 or 6 kinds of sour preparations. Maybe amla also means sour. But just sweet and sour sauce, it gives you the wrong idea. All the vegetables were so made that everyone present could take prasadam. Okay, I think they're saying there was enough. He's saying there was enough for everyone. Buddha Bodha, Gola Bodha, Masha Bodha, Mishta, Kira Puli Narikela, Jata Pishta Ishta. There were soft cakes made with mung dal. So Bodha, as soon as you hear the word Bodha, that means it's a party. Because it means like it's usually it means like something that is like fried or pan fried. You know, like it's something like you won't normally serve that out to a big group, you know. So they're translating it here as cake. You know, like a salty little patty cake ball. So there were soft cakes made with mung dal, soft cakes made with ripe bananas, and soft cakes made with urd dal. There were various kinds of sweetmeats or sweets, condensed milk mixed with rice cakes, and a coconut preparation, and every kind of cake desirable. Yeah, this pita, that means more like what you think of like a sweet cake. And there's more. Pati shatiya kola, donga bono bono, chole hale nahi nungati mono dodo. All the vegetables were served in pots made of banana leaves taken from trees producing at least 32 bunches of bananas. Every detail has been thought of, like even the banana leaf pots. Make sure they come from, auspicious banana trees, not just any banana trees. These pots were very strong and big and did not tilt or totter. Panchas donga vyanjane poriya, teen boge ashe bashe rakilo dodiya. All around the 3 eating places were 100 pots filled with various kinds of vegetables. 100 pots. Wow. Sagrita payasnava mrit kundika bodhiya timpatre ganavata dugda raketa dodiya. Along with the various vegetables was sweet rice mixed with ghee. This was kept in new earthen pots. Earthen pots filled with highly condensed milk were placed in 3 places. Highly condensed milk.
What are the pots?
These are like clay pots.
And what is the word?
Oh, in the Bengali?
In the English. New earthly pot?
Earthen.
Earthen. What does it mean, earthen?
Earthen means like from the earth. It means clay, basically. You know those clay pots? Yeah. They're saying earthen. Means made from the earth.
Yeah.
So, but they mean those clay. Yeah, I mean, we had to remember Srila Swami Maharaj, he's translating this in like the when is it he's translating this? Maybe like the 1950s or something, right? So his vocabulary is an older type of English. In the modern context, not everything works so well. But no, we still say that. I mean, here, this we would still say earthen.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like inappropriate, just an interesting way to say it. Not
I
clay,
see.
Just earthen.
Right. What is the Bengali? Navamrit. Yeah, the word is mrit. Mrit does mean something like soil, like earth.
Clay is soil.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Dugda chira kola, dugda laki, jate kori lota, kohite nashaki. Besides the other preparations, there were chipped rice made with milk and mixed with bananas, and also white squash boiled in milk. Indeed, it is not possible to describe all the preparations that were made. So this chira, I feel like we have to make something today. We have some chira.
Let's make all the cakes possible.
This is what happened to our serious Chaitanya-charitamrita. We're not normally like this kind of. Namapri is visiting like for one day. She's like, wow, these guys are just hanging out. Just talking about food. Not normally like this, I promise.
Possible cakes. Let's cook something.
So chira is translated as chipped rice, but what it actually is, I would call it flat rice, flattened. It's a pre-cooked. It's cooked, and then it's dried, or it's cooked, and then it's flattened, and then it's dried, and they're flakes. You could translate as flakes also. So you just like add water, and it soaks for a few moments. Oh my goodness, we're really getting into this. You can have it savory or sweet. Maybe I'll make some for breakfast for everyone. What time is it now? Okay, we'll just read a few more. We'll finish this section. Dugda chirakola, dugda. I think I read that. Besides the other preparations, there were chipped rice made with milk and mixed with bananas. Oh, I read this. Duipashe dorilosa mitkonika bori. Chapakola dadi sandesh kohite napadi. In 2 places there were earthen pots filled with another preparation made with yogurt. Sandesh, everyone knows, sweet made with curd, and banana. I am unable to describe it all. So let's remember, right, how did Advaita Āchārya word his invitation? Oh, I just have a few small things for you. Some simple boiled vegetable soup, and 1 palmful of rice, and there's some spinach. Please accept my humble offerings. Upon the stack of boiled rice and all the vegetables were flowers of the tulasi trees. There were also pots filled with scented rose water. Tin shubra pitata uparivasan edupe sakshat Krishna korelo bhojan. There were 3 sitting places where soft cloths were placed. Thus Lord Krishna was offered all the food, and the Lord took it very pleasantly. Aratir kale dui Prabhu bolailo, Prabhu sange sobe asi arati dekilo. Then they had Bhoga Arati. Look, full circle. Bhoga Arati. We'll definitely have to do Bhoga Arati today. Maybe not with so many preparations like this, but we can boil some potatoes at least. It is the system, after offering food, to perform Bhoga Arati. Advaita Prabhu asked the 2 brothers, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, to come see the Arati. The 2 lords and all others present went to see the Arati ceremony. Arati kariya Krishna korolo shayan Āchārya si prabhone tobe koila nivedan. After Arati was performed for the deities in the temple, Lord Krishna was made to lie down to rest. Advaita Āchārya then came out to submit something to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Nihe bitare Prabhu karun gaman dui bayaila tobe kodite bhojan. Shri Advaita Prabhu said, "My dear lords, kindly enter this room." The 2 brothers, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, then came forward to take the prasadam. Okay, I think that's a good place to stop. And then we'll hear some description of them taking the prasadam also. Can hear that tomorrow. How's Mahaprabhu going to respond? Jai Sri Chaitanya-charitamrita ki Jai, Shri Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami ki Jai.